Hi, and welcome to Cut Form LLC. My name is Joaquim. I'm the president, and I wanted to take this time to show you some of our services that you're possibly interested in. You may have been looking for precision cutting services as well as pattern digitizing services, and what we offer is very unique, and I think that it would help just about any company that's needing to cut out extremely precisely, but also have their patterns saved in a digital format like a DXF or a DWG format that you can use in any program like Adobe Illustrator or AutoCAD or really any system, even Gerber systems as well, like Gerber AccuMark. We have an extremely large format digitizing apparatus here that I'll demonstrate in a moment here, and we'll go ahead and digitize. While these are very small, we can digitize within this entire area here, and we'll do an example of that in another video. But for now, I wanted to show you on a small scale what we can do with patterns like this, which I believe is a card case or a wallet, and we'll be cutting that out of leather. This one is a similar sort of pattern piece, and we'll show you how we can digitize both of these. This one happens to be on a cardboard piece. It's got a couple of notches or folding notches here, and actually a hole for punching. So we will punch that as well. All right, let's get started. Okay. So we've actually already taken the picture now. As you can see, these are the patterns we will be digitizing, so I can go ahead and turn off our vacuum system. And we'll go ahead in here, and what we do is we actually denote what the table is and what the pattern is, and that will allow the system to distinguish, much like a green screen would in the film industry, what is your point of interest and then what is just the noise background. So here we have the system actually recognize the perimeter, and it will now take me into our configuration for finding the lines. And this is a fairly simple pattern, so there shouldn't be that much work to do except for perfecting some of the lines. So let's go ahead and use just a basic configuration. And right now it's having us find the corners. Now this is basically just asking me, where do I want the lines to break? Where do I want the blade to pick up? So I want the blade to pick up not there, but here, 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 and here. So we'll go ahead and say OK. And right now we have basically a rough vector line, or actually this is a polyline for the pattern edges. Now you can see how the camera picked up some of those imperfections of the leather that was cut. And so it is up to me and the designer to tell me where they want those edges to actually be. Since we can never be as perfect as a computer or a CNC machine, we want to tell it precisely where we want those lines to stop. And since I already talked with Arthur here, who has been so kind to actually create this video for us and bring us some patterns and leather to cut, he's told me that this is where our corner is going to be. This is where the curve is going to be, and this corner. And we're going to go ahead and straighten this corner out just a little bit. Make sure it's an absolute straight line. And make sure that this is a single line as well. And from here, since it's not quite level with our x-axis yet, I'm going to go ahead and do that by selecting one of our tools to just line it up. And it looks like I was already pretty close to being level, so I'll go ahead and say done. And this is the one we just did. This is one I did a little bit earlier just to test out. And we can go ahead and take some measurements to see what this line actually is. This says 8.56 inches. If we round up, it's about 8.57. And I can go ahead and check to see if that's correct, if that's what I want it to be from the original pattern. So we'll go ahead and pick up the piece, come over here and measure the actual line of interest, which, as you can see, is going to be this line. So we're going to take our ruler here, and sure enough, we have perfected the line. It's just over 8.5 inches long, so we know that our calibration is right on target. Let's go ahead, just for grins, let's take this line here and see what that one is. That one should be 8.58, so just slightly larger, or longer I should say, on this. And sure enough, we are exact. So we'll go ahead and say that's done. I don't really need this piece anymore because we already have the original here, so we'll go ahead and delete that. And so I don't bore you, I won't go ahead and digitize the other one because we saw how easy it was. We'll just go ahead and look here and take a measurement. Let's take a measurement here. This is 4.53, 4.54 on the top width. So let's go ahead and take that pattern. And we are right on target. We're actually right at 4.5. So we can go ahead and approve that one. And what I didn't include on this one, and I should have, but we'll go ahead and add it now, is the hole where I'm guessing a snap will go. So we'll go ahead and measure out where that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be center. So we have that's 3/8, so 1 3/8 from the top. So we'll go ahead and find our middle by finding what percent that is. It's 50% is middle. And then we'll add a point here. We'll take that point and move it along the Y. It's going to be negative 1.375. And we'll go ahead and now, this is actually defaulted to giving me a mark with a plotting pin. Since I'm going to be drilling this hole with the machine, I'm going to change it to a different format. So this will be a drill hole now. Say OK. And we got it. So now that's complete. We can go ahead and save this. And we can, well, why don't we go ahead and change our cutting settings, since we're going to be cutting in a moment. Let's go ahead and change our device settings so that we are cutting and drilling holes. Now, Arthur, what size hole is this going to be? It's going to be 1/16 of an inch.
Yeah, let's say 1/16 of an inch. The size of a post for a snap.
Okay. Well, I actually have one. Is it like a line 20? Line 20. Okay, I got a punch for that. So we'll go ahead and use our line 20 hole punch. Okay, so we're going to actually use an air drill, not our punch tool. We use our air drill. So we're going to change our deal here. Set this for 300 and apply. All right. So now we are ready. The file's ready anyway to go ahead and cut. Now let's start cutting. Arthur, what kind of leather are we going to cut? All right, so looks like this is some kind of veggie tan. All right. So typically, when you drop ship hides to us, we'll ask you, what kind of look are you going for on your products? Are you strictly only wanting A quality, or are you wanting B quality as well? Are you wanting even more leniency than that? Do you want C quality? C quality would be kind of like, holes and gashes. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a gash here. Maybe that's a characteristic that you're okay with, but we'll go ahead and, ask you, what is your standard? Usually people want A quality, and then they'll be okay with B qualities too, which would be like your brands or your, just little bug bites and stuff like that. We always look underneath the hide. Like for these sorts of things, this is a perfect example. There's a gash on the back side that you can't really see too well on the top. You can see that there's something going on here, but not until you turn it over will you see the actual gash going on there. So that's a structural issue, especially if you're trying to get a product that you're wanting to resell. We look for those sorts of things as well. So we'll actually mark that and go around it. We'll go around this gash here. It looks like this is a really clean hide. There's some manufacturing markings like this. We'll go around that. Unfortunately, it looks like their stamp had a really big stamp here, so they left a perimeter marking there. We'll go around that. And anyway, let's go ahead and get this marked up. So we actually use a gel pen. We do this because on contrasting leathers, it really shows up in the camera when it takes a picture of it. And you can actually remove this on most leather. I think on this veggie tin, it may be a little more difficult to remove, but since we're just throwing away the scrap, we're not really that concerned about it. So we're gonna go ahead and circle the areas that we're needing to go around. We already looked on the back side there, so we'll circle that. Some of these edges are really wrinkly and will cause structural issues, so we go around that. Looks like there's some bug issues here that probably won't make for a very good product, so we're going to go around that. Go around this manufacturing mark. And it looks like the cow may have run into some barbs or something, so we're going to go around those issues. Another manufacturing mark. Manufacturing mark. All right. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers it on the hide issues. So now we'll go ahead and use the plastic to go ahead, the plastic overlay to hold down the hide while we take a picture. From here, it makes it much easier to flatten out that hide, so when the blade goes around to cut, it won't have any issues. It will hold down the edges. All right. So now we come back to our computer here, and this is what we call, they call this hide shot. So we'll go ahead and take a picture of our hide. And we're just waiting for the image to load into the program. All right, so similar to how the other program was working for our pattern digitizing, we're doing the same thing. So we're going to find the perimeter of the hide, and sometimes when it renders the edges, it'll get a little too generous for us, so we'll go ahead and remove some of the excess, and we'll just go ahead and fill in. And take a look here. Alrighty. You can see my markings here. We're going to go into the other part of the system for quality control and actually find these areas that we're wanting to go around, and we'll mark them just literally like Microsoft Paint. We'll select those areas and the system will know to take our patterns and go around those issues. All right, that looks like that's all we have. So we have I know we're going to get a high yield now. So we're going to go ahead and go into Dallas Designing Dreams, the patterns that we just digitized for Arthur. And Arthur, you said you wanted to max out the hide. Did you want to max out, which patterns did you want to max out?
We want to go out.
Okay, so this one we're not going to cut?
You can cut a couple of them, maybe.
Maybe a couple samples?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do 2 samples there, and then we'll do, let's say, I don't know how many we're going to get, but let's just say we can get like 100. So we'll put those in our, so what I just did is I created our quota, and what we'll do is nest these first, which is a couple of them. Okay. And then we'll do the rest here. And what it's going to do is it's going to find the highest yield possible, the best orientation of all these patterns so that we're getting the highest yield possible. And I have it set for a minute. It's going to do about a minute of processing. And as you can see, it's started to find already. This is just about the best orientation of patterns we can have. And in the meantime, I'm going to come over here and change out our blade so we have a fresh blade that will be very sharp for us to cut all these patterns out. Okay. Okay, so now we have changed out our blade. We put our punch tool that we're going to use for these 2 patterns. And the rest is just cutting. So let's go ahead and send this into the cutting program. And we are ready. So we have all of our patterns here, as you can see. We have the 2 patterns here with our 2 holes. Let's go ahead and start cutting. So we're going to just take a moment here and check out our cut quality. And we are cutting very well, as you can see. So we're going to put that back and let the system continue. Okay, so now we're just gathering up all of the cut pieces. And like I was saying, we have around 90 that were yielded of this pattern, and we have our 2 that we cut. And we'll go ahead and kind of show off the precision here when we take our original pattern and match it to the cut piece. 90 yielded out of 1 hide, or I should say 1 side. Who knows what we could get out of 1 hide. So we have our original cut piece, our pattern template. I'll put that on top. Okay, so now we're just gathering up all of the cut pieces. And like I was saying, we have around 90 that were yielded of this pattern, and we have our 2 that we cut. And we'll go ahead and kind of show off the precision here when we take our original pattern and match it to the cut piece. 90 yielded out of 1 hide. So we have our original cut piece, or pattern template. And put that on top. Precise. We actually perfected that line more than, or better than it was before. Another one here. Perfect. Take our other piece. Perfect. Hole has lined up perfectly. And obviously these are the same, so see that? We have a perfect V notch here, so that when we fold it over, and I'm assuming it will get sewn here, so have that come out like that. So here is, in a previous video, if you go to Dallas Designing Dreams YouTube, you can actually find, and you type in Cut Form LLC, I think you can find this pattern that we digitized, and we actually cut this out. I haven't seen this in months, but the final outcome, but it looks like Arthur was able to sew up the entire pattern piece. And the reason why I wanted to show you these is because this was the original pattern piece, and this is just a miniaturized or a scaled down version of the same thing. And the reason why you want to have your patterns in a digital format is so that you can avoid having to recreate another physical sample pattern piece. You can actually go into your CAD software or Adobe Illustrator, or you could just hire us to do it, is to actually scale or grade. If it's a type of grading that you can simply just say scale down 50% or 25%, we can do that very easily. Now that you've seen our pattern digitizing, our cutting service, just give us a call. You can find all of our contact information on this website, and you can find our YouTube if you want to see some other stuff that we're working on. We are heavily involved on Instagram, so if you want to reach us out on Instagram and see what we're up to, some of the latest stuff, we love to stay in contact that way, and we'd love to watch what you're doing too, because you're our market, and we want to serve you. We want your company to have access to what the big boys have. This is something that our company has purchased for making drill team uniforms in the apparel industry, but we love contract manufacturing. We love to see your business that isn't to the scale of being able to acquire one of these. We want you to be able to have that scalability. So let us know. Our pricing is very comprehensive. We actually charge by the inch. So if we digitize your pattern, we simply pull the actual number of inches on the perimeter from that, and we put it through a pricing program, and we have a quote for you instantly. So let us know what that project is, and we can kind of ballpark it, or we can just receive your patterns, digitize them. You'll have a copy of that, but we can also pull your quote exactly from that as well. So again, find our contact information, request for quote on our website. So again, thank you for watching this video.